All right, what's going on, everybody? Gibby Cardstacks here, and we've got some interesting news from Bowman University Chrome 2025. Topps kind of sneakily just snuck like 20-ish new names from the checklist into this article, and no one was really talking about it, so we're going to break it down here. All right, so there was an article from Topps Ripped. I've never heard of this website or read any articles, at least I don't think so, but they actually highlighted a lot of the insert sets for Bowman Chrome University 2025. So there were like 5 different sets that they highlighted, and they showed the entire checklist for that set. Some of them had like 20, some of them had like 30 names. Some names we already knew, like they've had the Bowman U Now. There were just other guys that we knew of from the national pack or just from the leak on the Topps Industry Conference graphic that they had. There were a lot of names that we already knew. There were some names that like I just knew privately from NIL groups or just other people, marketing people reaching out to me, which was super helpful. But there were some new names that I didn't know that I was not aware of. So let's break it all down. Let's talk about each of these sets and some of the new players that are in there and what it means. And if you want a full breakdown on those players, is this a good buy? Is this a good stash? A good breakout potential? If you want to know all of that type of information, I'll be breaking all of that down on my Patreon. Link is down below for that. All right, so they highlighted the College Rule Playbook set. This is an okay insert, nothing too crazy, but it focused on quarterbacks. So there's 16 quarterbacks on this checklist, and the following names are Avery Johnson, we already knew that name. Marcel Reed, he was in a preview of another auto. I forgot what it was called. Lenora Sellers, we knew. Gunnar Stockton, we knew was in the set. Kevin Jennings, we knew from Bowman U Now. Bryce Underwood was on the featured image. I believe Carson Beck was as well. Garrett Nussmeier has been previewed. Rocco Becht, I think we might have already known that, or at least I felt good about it. Maybe I didn't know. I don't remember on that one. Eli Holstein, we knew. Diego Pavia, we knew about that. His NIL agency had reached out to me and they said, hey, back in February when I was making like, hey, top guys that we want in Bowman, his agency, his NIL group or team must have seen it, and they were like, hey, we actually did sign with Topps. So I knew about that a while ago. Ty Simpson returned. Sam Levitt, we knew. John Mateer, we knew. And then Dante Moore, I believe we knew in some capacity. But that's just from the insert set. I don't believe that there are any autos in this. All right, so the next set that they highlighted was Lettered Up. I don't think I like this design, to be honest. It'll be interesting to see what it looks like from a non-color perspective, just because the one preview that we have is an orange, and that matches with Texas for Trey Wisner, who is the featured athlete. So some names here. Carson Beck, we knew he was in. Caden Salter, I knew about that. He was in the national packs, so those guys usually get carried over, so I felt good about that one. Garrett Nussmeier, again. Diego Pavia, again. Mikey Keene, again, in the Bowman U National packs, so we knew that. New name, Eli Stowers, tight end for Vanderbilt. I thought that was an interesting one to be added into the set. Joey Aguilar in Tennessee, we knew about that. Miller Moss, Louisville, we knew about that. Casey Concepcion, that's a new one. He's been in Leaf. I don't know if he's been in Onnit. So he was former NC State guy, now at Texas A&M. Texas A&M having a great season. John Mateer, we knew about. Nate Frazier was in the graphic. Another new one, Darius Taylor, running back Minnesota. Haynes King, we knew from the Bowman U Now series. Jaden Baugh, we knew about that. Another new one, DeAndre Moore at Texas, wide receiver. Another interesting name that we now know. Dylan Stewart, we knew about that one from the preview image. Sam Levitt, we knew about that one. Katron Allen, I believe, was in that image preview and has been featured on the Superfractor. Kind of a crazy one here. Freshman Matt Zollers out of Missouri. He was a big deal coming out of high school. He had an injury, so I'm curious to see where his prices are settling once the auctions start to take its course and once things finally settle down price-wise. Kind of a fun one, Whit Weeks, linebacker LSU. He's been having a phenomenal year. I think he was first team All-SEC last year, if not in the All-American consideration. Had a phenomenal year, been a good player. He could be draft eligible, so we'll see on that. Trey Wisner was the featured athlete on this card. Jordan Tyson on Bowman U Now. Another interesting one, Harrison Wallace, Ole Miss wide receiver. And then we got Boise State quarterback Maddox Madsen. Last year we had Malachi Nelson, the 5-star #1 quarterback. Now we get Maddox Madsen in this set. And then another group of 5 guy, Alonzo Burnett, James Madison. Could they make a push for the playoffs? Who knows? All right, so now we've got the Campus Visit autograph set. This one I'm a little underwhelmed with, at least compared to the basketball set. They had like a cool little Jumbotron with a logo. This one just has the player and just the background, like a cool I don't know, like a computer screen background to me. So I'm not in love with this. I'm always usually a Bowman first auto guy anyways, but hey, if you hit a big name out of this checklist, maybe it's not a bad thing. So we've got Brandon Sorsby. We knew about that from the Bowman U National packs. Carson Beck, we knew about. New one, Denzel Boston. That's a new one, and I love Denzel Boston. I'll be curious to see where his prices are, because that's what a lot of this depends on, right? Like, there are guys that I love, but I'm just like, I cannot pay, $40 for an auto of this guy that I like, or it just depends, right? Like a Brendan Sorsby, to me, I was buying all of his autos at $10 a piece. I'm like, this does not make any sense to me. I love Brendan Sorsby. I'm gonna buy everything I can. Earlier, it's like guys like Ryan Williams. I'm like, there's no way I'm paying $130 for a Ryan Williams auto. So it depends on prices, right? But I am curious to see where Denzel Boston prices go. I don't know. Garrett Nussmeier, we knew about that. Haynes King, Bowman U now. A new one, another Texas running back, Jarek Gibson. That Texas running back room, I just don't know what to make of it, to be honest. So I'm not like super excited about it, but something to watch for. Josh Hoover, I think was in the Bowman U National packs. I don't remember, but if not, solid addition. I like Josh Hoover. John Mateer, we knew about that one. Kevin Jennings was in Bowman U now, and I believe he was on the little spotlight photo. Caden Salter, we knew about. Interesting one, especially given the timing. Just earlier today, Oregon State fired their head coach, Malik Murphy, quarterback at Oregon State. He was at Duke. He was first at Texas, then went to Duke, then NIL disputes perhaps, then goes to Oregon State, and they pay him a good amount. I imagine he's in the portal once again this offseason if he's got any eligibility. I feel like he does, so that'll be interesting. Miller Moss, we knew about. Matt Zollers in this set again. Another new one, Nick Harbor, South Carolina wide receiver. If you know me, you know my thoughts on Nick Harbor, and then Rocco Becht again. So those are the three little insert sets that they highlighted in this. So we knew a couple of new names. It really wasn't so much new information for me, just from what I had already been able to confirm. But for a lot of people, this is a pretty significant chunk of the checklist, at least 10%, at least 20 new names or so. Or if you keep, weren't putting the pieces together, a pretty solid checklist. So I'm excited about this. I think it's a pretty solid lineup. There's a couple that I'm like, I don't know. And there's a couple where I'm like, wow, got to see where prices are, because I might go all in. So that's everything. Again, if you want to know a full breakdown, I'm breaking down every single player in this checklist. When we get this checklist, when it releases, I don't know, but hopefully it comes soon, because I'm going to be breaking down every single player. I will have a 2 to 3 hour video talking about every single guy. Hey, this is a All-American guy. This is a first round guy. This is a top 5 pick. You know what? Let me just pull up my key. So I break down every single player into one of these categories. I have top 5 pick, Heisman contender, All-American, All-Conference, hobby hype, stash and speculate, breakout potential, dart throw, lottery ticket, and boof. So I categorize every single player into those categories. It helps me kind of track, and it helps people learn, like, hey, this is a good name. Okay, stay away from this guy. Hey, this is, a lottery ticket here. Hey, this is one of the best players in the country, and I didn't know about him. So I'm going to be breaking down every single player, giving you all their background information while they've been in college, and I'm going to be ranking them by position as well, so you have a full checklist of, hey, these are all the quarterbacks in the checklist that are ranked. These are all the running backs in the checklist, and they're all ranked. So I'm going to be doing all of that. Depending on when the checklist comes out, I will do a 2 to 3, maybe 5-minute video on every single guy as well. So if you do see a guy and you're like, hey, I want a little bit of a deeper analysis, I'm going to try to do the mini videos for every single player. Just depends on the timing and when the checklist comes out. But that's my goal. So that's everything. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. If you enjoyed, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Peace, love you, bye.